What's cracking, fight fans? The Fight Writer Josh here, back for episode 3 of the Fight Writer here on YouTube. Thank you for taking the time to watch my other two videos. Wanted to space them out a little bit, so that's why I didn't jump on here and do anything yesterday, Tuesday, which was Tuesday here in Australia. But we've reached Wednesday and trying to do a little bit of a midweek sort of review. As we all know, mixed martial arts is the gift that keeps giving sometimes. Going to jump in and talk about the betting scandal that is is going to be investigated now. So just to start off with, I think when I did my last video, we hadn't had any sort of statement from the UFC. Now, Aaron Bronsteter, a brilliant Canadian MMA journalist, provided a statement from the UFC on his X page, and it read, "Like many professional sports organisations, UFC works with an independent betting integrity service to monitor wagering activity on our events. Our betting integrity partner, IC360, monitors wagering on every UFC event and is conducting a thorough review of the facts surrounding the Bulgarian Davale bout on Saturday, November 1. We take these allegations very seriously, and along with the health and safety of our fighters, nothing is more important than the integrity of our sport." That was the official statement from the UFC. Dana White, the president of the UFC, has since done he's done an interview with TMZ Sports. I had I've got it right here. I'm only going to play a little bit of this, but this is sort of kind of what he said, a little bit of the statement, but he adds a little bit more to it as well. So we'll play a little bit of this, and then we'll talk a bit more about it.
Probably about 1 o'clock that day, we're with a company called IC360, and they are the best bet monitoring company in the business. And they reached out to us and they told us that there was some unusual action going on with that fight. Do we know anything? We didn't. So what we did was we called the fighter and his lawyer and said, "What's going on? There's some weird action going on in your bet. Weird betting action going on in your fight. Are you injured? Do you owe anybody money? Has anybody approached you to, and the kid said, "No, absolutely not. I'm going to kill this guy." And, so we said, okay. The fight plays out, and first round finish by rear naked choke. Literally, the first thing we did was call the FBI. So we called the FBI. I've met with the FBI twice today. So that's the whole thing. Now you see people out there talking, "Oh, there's hundreds of fights under it." It's total bullshit. Total usual clickbait bullshit. IC360, our company, they monitor all of the betting. Like I said, they're the best in the business. There aren't hundreds of fights being investigated.
So a few things to unpack just from that little 1 minute, nearly one and a half minutes of the interview there. I'm not going to play the whole thing and take up too much time, but Dana saying that when they were alerted, they actually called the fighter and his lawyer, saying that there's unusual betting action going on for your fight. Are you injured? Someone asking you to throw it. But do you owe anyone money? I think he said, actually. But that took me a little bit by surprise. But at the same time, it kind of means that Dana's gone straight to the source, and he's trusted his fighter to see if he will say the right thing. Obviously, the fight told a different story, but it's the same as you being in your job and your boss trusting you with something. So I'm guessing that's why the UFC went straight to the fighter and his lawyer, just to check, even if it does seem a little bit unusual there. But like I said, you want to believe your staff or your fighters in this case. Also, the interesting part as well there was you had over 100 fights being investigated. Dan said that is clickbait. So I just want to go over here to Harry Mack. Now, Harry Mack is an MMA journalist. I've only just started following him, but I'm a big fan. So, Harry, if you're watching this, shout out to you. Drop us a line. It'd be great to have a chat with you one day. But he said here, so the original tweet was on November 2, was a very important tidbit here. The FBI notified the UFC of abnormal betting action and live movement and gave them hours to pull the fight. They chose to continue, and from my perspective, now complicit in fixing a fight. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that tweet the other day, but the update he had here was federal regulators have flagged over 100 UFC fights this year. Abnormal betting patterns, including 2 additional fighters on last night's card. Shit is about to get very ugly. Still working to confirm, but it sounds like the feds are moving into audit Herzog's fight. Herzog, he means Jason Herzog, the referee Jason Herzog. Now it's, I believe that the FBI will be allegedly be looking into Jason Herzog's, the fights he's refed. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what plays out there. That's just what Harry said so far. I'm sure he has his sources, so he'd be reporting what he's heard from his sources there. So he's doing a good job. The other thing that's happened as well is that some fighters have come out and said that they have been approached. So if we come down here, Vince Morales, he said that all this throwing the fight stuff is crazy. He was approached about doing it, and it's not something he could live with, he said. Even though he ended up losing the fight anyway. When asked how much he was offered, he said it was considered pennies. Considering how big of a deal it is, $70K, which is that's a bit of money, I reckon, to throw a fight. But I don't know what Morales is getting paid. So, and Vanessa Demopoulos and Lando Venata were also. They also said that they have been approached about fixing fights, but they rejected the offer, which was interesting to see. And I'm pretty sure Dana in that TMZ interview also sort of expressed that he was surprised that they didn't go to the feds themselves. I think it says up here in this Uncrowned article, which I believe was Michael Eldon Crowned MMA article, where it says that may not be here, but he said that he was surprised that these fighters didn't come forward. Here it is. Dana said to TMZ, "It's crazy you're seeing fighters coming out and saying, 'Oh, I was approached.' Really? Why didn't you tell us? Or more importantly, why didn't you tell law enforcement? Now you're saying you were approached." So I'm not saying that these fighters weren't approached. They may very well have been. I guess, what do you do in that situation? I guess you alert someone at least, or it makes you wonder, did they come to the fighters themselves, or did they go to their coaches, or who was involved in this, and how wide reaching is it? So we've got, like Harry Mack said, hundreds of fighters. Dana's sort of shot that down, but we'll see how this FBI investigation goes from here. Over in Australia, I don't know. I don't think it's going to affect our bookmakers over here. I mentioned in my last videos that I wasn't watching the lines during the fights, so I wouldn't know if there was any movement here. But I'm not sure how that would affect that sort of stuff in America. How that would affect Australian bookmakers. Like I said, I don't think it would affect them very much. Considering a different country and whatever else, and our lines are a little bit different to how America does their lines, like the minus and plus 200s and 250s or whatever. America does, where we just have the dollar amounts. Uh, so yeah, but an interesting take on this. I'll go to the Barnhill brothers. They do a podcast on combat sports, and I'm just going to play a little snippet now. And I think they're right here, where they say that Diwali's win has sort of been overshadowed in this. But I'll just play this clip and speak a little bit about it after.
Somebody or why the money went in the way that it went in. But I do know this. Yadier Del Valle can beat Isaac Dolgarian in the first round without his help. That's the story here. That's what we need to make sure doesn't get glossed over.
Right.
Yadi did nothing wrong. Yadi was in there performing as he performs. As I said, he's an extremely high-level grappler. Wrestling, judo, and jiu-jitsu. He's the trifecta. Extremely strong, good hands, good power. This kid's got a bright future. Don't tie him in with somebody who may or may not have done something unscrupulous.
Right.
So that's all I want to say before we move on. I think that we should all sort of in our minds raise the stock for Yadier Del Valle
100%.
because he did what he was supposed to do. And whether Dolgarian had some sort of sideshow going on, to me is really irrelevant, because when I saw those odds, I was like, man, Yadi all day. I don't care what Dolgarian brings. I know how good Yadi is.
Right.
And that's the problem here. That's why I think this whole thing is just such a bummer. Did Isaac Dolgarian...
I'll just stop that there. So that was a take from the Barnhill brothers on the Combat Sports podcast. So, it has been a little bit lost in the fact that Diwali won. Like his win against Dolgarian. I've probably glossed over it a little bit. It's just, I totally get what they're saying. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about Diwali here, but you kind of, when you watch it back, it does feel like something's not right. But then again, that could just be with that now that we were alerted to the fact that something happened. The fact that something happened in with the betting lines that could just, we could have, we go, we see it now. Like we've now you're told something that you now see it. But I just, it's a hard one. The Valle could, go on a tear from here. I hope he does, because, he's won the fight. He like they said, he went out and did what he's supposed to do and win the fight. Whether something unscrupulous happened or not, it's we don't know. We have to wait and see what happens, what comes out. I'm pretty sure Dolgarian hasn't released anything yet. I know I haven't read the article, but I've seen it just before I started this video. That I'm pretty sure Harry Mack or someone else has also spoken to Dolgarian's manager. So yeah. That one I sort of got the gist of it. Sort of sounded like someone approached the fighter and not the manager. So, but again, I'll go and read that article after I'm done here and try and get across it a little bit more. That's pretty much what I wanted to show you about the betting scandal. Of course, this is going to there's going to be an investigation. Don't know what's going to happen here. We're all going to be sort of hanging on to find out what Dolgarian has to say for himself. But that's pretty much it for that one. Just going to go and talk a little bit about boxing, because massive boxing fan over here as well. And I want to do all combat sports as much as I can, and also a little bit of pro wrestling for those that like it. But long-time boxing fan. Obviously, the Rocky movies played a massive role in that. Also, when I was a young kid, I watched a mini-series here in Australia about Australian boxer Lionel Rose. It was called Rose Against the Odds. Loved it. It was just about Lionel Rose's just his story, and I loved every second of it. And that's it made me fall in love with the sport of boxing even more. But just wanted to come over here and talk about Tszyu. So Tszyu, obviously, recently, for those that know, He's changed up his team. He's sort of had a clean out, so to speak, and sort of got rid of some people in his team, added some new people. And now he has dropped his fight name, the Soul Taker. And he has a new alter ego. So if we go down here, this is an article on Fox Sports by Nick Walshaw. Shout out to Nick. He's been a long time great combat sports journalist in Australia. I've been following his stuff for over a decade now. Especially, he wrote a lot of rugby league stuff for the Daily Telegraph too. Pretty sure he's I haven't looked at his ex profile lately, his Twitter profile, whatever you want to call it, but it did talk about how he was the front row for Mudgee Dragons, I think. But Nick, if you hear this, give me let us know in the comments if you front row for the Mudgee Dragons or not. But shout out to Nick Walshaw and the Mudgee Dragons as well. But his new nickname, Tim Tszyu, that is Phoenix. So it's going to be, obviously, his comeback. That's the new nickname on the comeback. Kind of like the Phoenix rising from the ashes. This is what Tim Tszyu doing. He's, going to be, he's speaking to Nick from his base in Miami. New name or alter ego. Way embracing everything now, standing between himself and a return to boxing's global summit. Now, I don't know about you, but I love comeback stories. I'm sure you do too. They're great. I'm hoping Tim Tszyu is his comeback story is going to be one for the ages. I might be biased because I am Australian, of course, and I was a massive fan of his dad, Kostya. Kostya was a great boxer. Still love his knockout of Zab Judah back in, I can't remember if it was the early 90s or late 2000s, but yeah, that was one of my favourites, one of my favourite knockouts of Kostya. But Tim Tszyu, really looking forward to how he sort of comes out and, how he comes from here, how he fights back from adversity. So we'll see what plays out from here. I'll obviously keep an eye on his promoters, No Limit Boxing, and see when they announce Tim Tszyu's fight. But speaking of Tszyu, we're going to go over to Nikita Tszyu now, the brother of Tim. He'll be fighting Michael Zerafa in January. I think it was the 16th of January next year. That will be an interesting fight. There's obviously been some bad blood between Zerafa and the Tszyu. Now Zerafa finally gets his chance to fight one. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. If we go over here and we have a look at Nikita's record, he is 11-0. He's had some good wins in his short career. He's a bit of an I'll say enigma, and he likes to sort of do unusual things. I'm pretty sure he's drank cobra's blood before and that sort of thing. I love his fight name, The Butcher. If I was ever a fighter, that's what I was going to use because my background is as a butcher before I became a sports journalist. We'll see how this plays out. Nikita is very, very tough. Very tough. And I know we'll go over to Zerafa's record now. And Zerafa has more fights, He is 33 years of age. He's a good fighter. He's been around forever. What more can you say? Anyone that steps in the ring is, I have so much respect for anyone that steps in the ring or the cage or even on the jiu-jitsu mat. But it's going to be interesting to see if his experience will shine through. He's orthodox, where Tszyu's southpaw. So they're always interesting matchups. His last few years, he's had a couple of losses. He had a loss to Jeff Horn back in 2019. He had another loss back in 2024. He's won his last 3 fights. So we'll see how he goes up against the Tszyu. Obviously more experienced, but you just don't know what can happen. Anything can happen in the fight. So Do they go the distance? Does Tszyu knock him out? Can he knock Nikita out? I'm not sure if he can knock Nikita out, but, you know, never say never. But this will be a good fight, and it's a good way to start off the year for Australian boxing as well. Okay, but I will obviously do a bit more on that fight card when things get announced. I'll jump on here and on socials as well, just to let everyone know what's happening and that sort of thing. So the goal for me is to do not only MMA but to do boxing as well. Like I said, long-time boxing fan, love the sport. I stopped watching it for a number of years because I felt like it was, to use the word, corrupt. I didn't think it was, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't enjoy. Anthony Joshua actually got me back into boxing. I loved watching him fight, and now I'm just back into it. So I'm happy just to watch anyone go at it. So yeah, that will be one to watch. So once that gets announced, I'll talk about that. But that'll be the goal for this channel and for my writing on my website moving forward as well, is not only MMA but also boxing and also a bit of pro wrestling for those that like it, like I said. So that's it on the boxing front. Just before I go, gonna just go over and have a quick look at the this weekend's event, Bonfim versus Brown, the fight night at the Apex again. Wonder if this weekend's Apex card will be unusually newsworthy, as I believe Ariel Helwani called it. Obviously, we've got Gabriel Bonfim and Randy Brown in the main event. Co-main event, you've got Matt Schnell and Joseph Morales. Not going to go into too much of it tonight because I'm going to wait till probably Friday night to talk a bit more about it. Ricky Simone's on there too. The one I wanted to show you the most, and it's his first fight post Dana White's Contender Series, and that's this lad here, Josh Hokert. Had some very interesting things to say after his fight on Dana White's Contender Series. It looks like he's doing the Hulk Hogan bandana thing there. He's 6-0. First couple of fights, I believe, were in Bellator. First two, and then he was over in the LFA. Couple of cancelled bouts, this is the reason why I love Tapology. It shows you just about everything. Then one more bout in the LFA before he went on the Contender Series. Then this weekend he's fighting Max Jimenez. Hopefully I've said that right. So if I butchered it, Max, sorry about that. I'll make sure to get it right in the future. But the reason why I want to show you this over here, and this is the his post-fight interview with Heidi Androl after the Contender Series. So have a listen to this.
The incredible Hulk division. But my opponents won't be these lazy, boring heavyweights. My opponents will be sex traffickers, pedophiles, rapists. Hell, you can even throw the transgenders in there. Line them all up. And one by one, I give them a good old American beatdown inside the octagon to show the world that there's consequences for these types of behaviors in America. We're going to create the...
Stop it there before it plays again. That he seems to be a very interesting character. He does Josh Hokert with the pro wrestling style interview there. You can call it a promo even, as they call it in pro wrestling. So be interesting to see how he goes this weekend. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to show you for this episode of the Fight Writer Guys. Thank you for taking the time, of course, to watch. If you're new, drop a like, comment, say hi. You can also find me on my socials. I'm usually at the Fight Writer. That's usually the handle. I'll try and post them up just to get going. Like I said the other night, I'm trying to create a community here. Back years ago, MMA community in Australia was the best, and I'm trying to get back into it again and go from there, and just make content that you'll watch and like, and just also bring you the best that mixed martial arts and combat sports have to offer. But that ends this episode. Again, like, subscribe, comment, tell me what I can do better, tell me what you do want to see, what you don't want to see. I'm happy to take it all on board. But thank you for taking the time. And as always, take care.